Hey guys, this is G. Welcome back to another episode of Meeting the Driver. Today we're going to be sitting down with Carlos and exploring his 3-car solution. And there's a sneak peek of a 4th special car that he has we're going to go through. Before we get into that, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you soon.
I'm stoked to be here. My name is Carlos. So I guess first and foremost, I'm a doting father. Probably gearhead second, and then I focus on business development and strategic partnerships in the tech space. So I guess for folks that might be asking what the hell does that even mean, just think about like when two companies come together and they strike an integration. I'm the guy behind the scenes that helps architect what that should look like, the commercial terms that govern it, and then how the product ought to integrate together. So I just love like playing around with primarily RC cars when I was growing up. So that got me wrenching a lot, taught me a lot about suspension setups, tire compounds and all that good stuff, and then everything just took off from there. So by the time I hit 15, I started spending a lot less money on RC cars and a lot more time and energy on thinking about what I could build as I got my license. So, and I like anything that has a lot of character and invokes a lot of emotion when you drive it. And I tend to think, at least for the cars that I have, they all kind of check that box. I suppose the other thing that you can add on there too is that they're not a dime a dozen, right? So it's like when you see them rolling down the road, if you're a car person, it will hopefully get you to turn your head, right? So those are probably the three areas that I optimize for. I would say there's always been like a pointed approach in terms of both the Porsches and the M3s. In particular, they were very much poster cars for me when I was growing up, particularly in high school. So I always just naturally gravitated to those two marks and then those models in particular. But I'd say the E36, the M3 in back of us, is the one that's the most pointed build, just in terms of getting exactly what I wanted and kind of building it the way that I saw fit. I think there's a lot that's special about it, but I think outside of the car, it's just when I was growing up, man, I was a kid from very humble beginnings, right? And so when I saw the E36 M3 come out, that was something I was really hyped about and never thought I would own at one point. So, you know, when I was young, I bought this 18th scale model, and I've had it with me throughout that entire time as kind of the goalpost of like, hey, this is what to work for. And so when I finally got it, then you know, just kind of built it up the way that I always envisioned it, and you know, now it's here. I'd also say too, the other piece that I really enjoy about the car is that it's the only one that I own that I can properly take my kids around in. I can't do that in either of the Porsches, so I always get a kick out of when my daughter rides in the back with me, and you know, she wants to take the purple car. It's always it's a treat for her. So that makes me enjoy that car infinitely more than anything else I've got. So a quick overview of the 993. It's got well, it's lowered, refreshed suspension, a fresh 3.6 liter engine, and I'd say the most interesting thing about it is that the transmission is geared to match the ratios of the 997.2 RS, so it makes it a little bit livelier. In terms of driving experience, that one's it's an interesting one. I'd say it's definitely emotion filled, right? There's a lot of sounds, a lot of smells. There's no radio in that car, so you just get the full unadulterated experience when you're driving. What I particularly like about the car is that it's very modern in its approach because of the multi-link rear end, but it doesn't have so much power where it feels like it wants to strangle you, right? So you never feel like you're in too hot of water when you're driving it. So I think it's a nice all-around package, and I think of the cars, I think it happens to be the prettiest, right? So that one always stops me in my tracks, and that's the one that I probably look back at the most. So I picked it up by a really cool Porsche guy that lived out of San Diego, and before I bought it, I took 2 trips down, right? One to check out the car, and the second trip to actually pick it up and drive it all the way back up. And so my wife joined me on the second trip, and I didn't tell her at the time there was no radio, and so that was a bit of a surprise for her. But in terms of I guess best story with it, we just blasted up the coast. We took the long way home. We got an opportunity to stop in Long Beach and then also LA to visit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the coffee shop Commodity. So we stopped at Commodity and All Time Plants, and we got a chance to that checked 2 boxes for us, right? I wanted to hang out with my buddies, and then my wife is she's got a green thumb, so we got a chance to pick up some plants. So on our way back, we had our duffel bags in here, we had plants, and then loaded with coffee, right? And then started our trek back up. So we took our time. It took us about 2.5 days to get back. So we made stops in Santa Barbara as well. I've got a buddy that lived out there, and he's got a beautiful old school Porsche too. So we kind of just playing tag through the twisties there, and then slowly made our way back up to Sacramento. I showed my buddy Rob, who you guys are going to be talking to soon. Matter of fact, when we first pulled up with the car, we didn't even pull into our driveway. We pulled right into our next door neighbor's house. They had barbecue ready for us, and it was the whole thing where it's they were so hyped to hear about the car in our drive back. We just parked it straight in their driveway, ate dinner with them. That way we could kind of debrief and just kind of share our excitement about it. So it was nice to share that drive with my wife and kind of just view the coast with her and really take our time, you know?
What are you guys doing?
Hey, we're filming a car documentary.
Was that on the Porsche?
Yes. We started in LA, we came up to Sacramento, now we're going back though.
Okay. Any thoughts why I'm stopping you? When I passed you, you're hanging all the way out the passenger window. That is unsafe. So who are you filming for?
It's our company actually. We own an automotive brand.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All good. Be safe. Please don't hang out the window like that. That's a problem.
Oh man, how each of them get used? Honestly, I use them in proper rotation, and I use them for everyday stuff. So it's wild. People ask me all the time, like, I'll take the 997 to run and go get groceries or to get coffee, and I think it blows a lot of people away, because it's I think the inherent thing is, like, folks are worried about getting things like door dings or, you know, things like that. But I figure if I have the cars, and I have to do things that are mundane day in, day out, I might as well drive something that gets me hyped about doing it, right? So it's not really a surprise, at least to my neighbors, if they see me at Costco and, like, I'm loading up the front of the red car with, like, a ton of supplies, right? So this is the outlier in the sense that it's the only car that we own, or at least that gets parked in the garage, that doesn't have 3 pedals. So that one belongs to my daughter, Emma, and so she's 4. And I would say one of the, I guess one of the big surprises of fatherhood is how much she's had a gravitation towards cars and kind of just shown a huge interest in it, right? So that obviously gets me super hyped. And when we kind of caught wind of that, we were like, this is a no-brainer. Let's get her a Porsche of her own and you know, drive her around the block. And so she takes care of it like I take care of my car. She pretends to work on it, change the oil, and she's matter of fact, before you guys came, she was in the garage with me and spraying it down with quick detailer and making sure it was done and dusted. First electric Porsche of the household. Nice. Man, future plans with the cars. I'm just trying to be a good custodian, man. Hopefully both of my kids get the shot at kind of, you know, enjoying it too. If my daughter still has that kind of pull and interest towards them when she's older, and my son, as he's much younger than she is, as he grows up, if that's something that he's interested in, I'd, you know, kind of love to just kind of pass it down, and in the meantime make sure that they're well taken care of. But at this point, I don't really foresee anything major happening with the cars with respect to any type of additional modifications. Just get in and enjoy the drive, and then outside of that, you know, outside of cars, just trying to spend as much time with my kids before they no longer want to spend time with me, right? It's an interesting inflection point where I don't know, maybe like preteen, where like it stops being cool to hang out with your parents. So I'm just trying to relish the time now. Awesome. That's it. I think for me, what helped me was never getting too fixated on kind of what other people have, right? It's easy to get lost in that mix, especially as you go to like cars and coffee meets and you see really, really cool cars coming up. To me, what really kept me focused was just whatever I had at the time, from early second generation CRX to you know, as I started to delve into these cars, I was just always focusing on what I had and making sure that I was like super passionate about it. And then, you know, the rest kind of worked its way out. You know, you like focus on whatever you do in order to make a living, and as long as you're passionate about it and, you know, you have the means, then I'm a huge proponent of being able to enjoy some of it, right? So I'm just a benefactor of that, and pretty lucky in that sense. So.
All right, guys, that concludes today's Meeting the Driver episode with Carlos here. Carlos, thank you so much for having us come by and sharing your space with us.
Yeah, I'm stoked you guys made the trip up, and I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Appreciate it, bud. You have a beautiful garage, beautiful cars, and it looks like you're raising your family the right way too, so.
Tried the best I can, seeded early, you know?
Yep. Again, if you like our content, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe buttons, and we'll see you soon.